Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which I take a first look at a brand new game that's just about to come out, and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Pro Basketball Manager 2022, and if you might remember, I actually covered this game last year for the 2021 edition. I will put a link in the top right hand corner just about now. I am happy to report that this game is a vast improvement on the last one, although there are still a few issues that present themselves, which are, to be fair, largely subjective. As always, we'll go through the options first, show you what's available there, and then I will take you through the new career startup to show you the options that you've got, and then we'll jump into an actual game and into the meat of everything. I'm happy to report that the options menu is pretty robust and gives you a lot of options to choose from. However, I do have a few concerns or things that they could have added in. As you can see with the currency, height and weight unit, maximum skill value and all that is really good. It's nice to see that you can customize that pretty much as you would expect. You've got a lot of different currencies here. The one thing I am a bit not annoyed about, but feels like they've left it out, is that they don't have stones. Now, I get that stones is a very British unit of measurement that people just don't understand, but the fact that you can have the British pound, you can have feet or inches or centimeters, kilos and pounds, but no stones. Just a slight quip there, and very subjective. You don't need it. Kilos works just as well, but it would have been nice to see. Maximum skill value, it would be nice if there were a few more options here as well, or maybe a slider. To go from 20 to 100 seems like a bit of a large jump, and it would be nice if you could have a bit more control there. You can even change the display of the team names, which is nice. I've got this switched on because it's always good to have, especially since it says anonymous. But it's nice the option's there in case you don't want to send that information across. Display of odds, again, they've got numerous different ones there. Simplified trades if you wanted them, and then volume sounds in menus. Now, speaking of volumes, as with the last game, there is no in-game music in this game at all, whatsoever. And it's a bit of a shame. It would be nice if there was some menu music. There is plenty of uncopyrighted music out there that they could have acquired. They could have done some deals to get some. It would just be nice instead of stone silence. Also, the sounds on the actual game as well are a bit lacking. Generally, when you're watching a game play out, whatever, that there's no atmosphere there because there's no real sounds to it. And this is something that has carried on from the last game. I remember complaining about the fact that there was no music in the game there either. Other options, you've got your quality of 3D graphics. It's on very high. I don't see an improvement there. Like, they're still pretty bad. They're pretty generic character models. You've got your billboards activated, sound effects during games. Again, the sound effects are lacking. Fan noise during games, quality of the fans, quality of the stands. You can only go to normal or only in the first rows, which seems a bit odd to me. Highlight the play with the ball and effects on the ball. This one's something you might actually want to turn off, and I'll leave it on so you can see it in the game, but it's a really thick, like yellow or green, colorblind, yellow or green like line surrounding the player. And it's not the most attractive thing to look at. And then your shortcuts. So these are completely rebindable, although to be honest, you're not going to really need them. You can do everything you need to with a mouse. What would be nice is if there was an FPS counter, just to kind of limit the way that your game plays. But other than that, I am very impressed with the menu. There is a lot here that wasn't here last time, and honestly, the graphics of the game for the menus, like this menu here, for example, it's very clean, and it looks more professional, if you like, than last year's iteration. So I'm very pleased with that. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the options you get when you make a new game, and then we'll jump into the actual game itself to give you guys an idea of what you're in for. Okay, so you decide to make a new career. What is good about this as well, and I don't think I saw this on last year's game, is that you've actually got a mod section now. It's on the main screen as you started, and then you can manage them when you create a new career. It does come with the default mod, which is just what the game comes with all the teams and stuff. But it's nice to see that the game is expecting and allowing mods to be used to make the game more enhanced for its players. What I will say is the loading times for this can be a little bit long. Obviously, when you are starting a new career and going through everything, there is a lot there to go through, but I do feel like the loading is a little bit long in the tooth for what it should be. However, what I do like to see is the fact that it gives you the actions as it's loading. That's actually quite nice. So, here is your selection screen. You can choose your gender, date of birth, nationality, all that good stuff. And then you've got very limited options here. You've got your skin color, which goes up to 7 is the maximum. What is nice is when you are at the end of your options, the arrows actually grey out. It's subtle, but it's noticeable enough that you know not to keep pressing, which is quite nice. You can then choose your haircuts. Again, I think there are quite a lot, actually. There are up to 19. And the haircuts in question, there's a decent range of them. Your beard. There aren't many here, but, 7 is a good amount to choose from. And then your hair color, again, the same. There's 7 there. So you've got a fair amount of customization for your avatar, but there doesn't need to be a huge amount. Then you've got your team. You can choose pretty much anywhere in the world, which is nice. If you want to choose the UK, you can. And then you've got a number of different leagues. You've got one league in the UK, which, let's be real, I'm not really surprised that that is all there is. And you simply choose one. So we'll choose London there. It gives you your stats here and the finances and everything compared to the rest of the British League. And then you just hit continue to start. And then you've got your playable leagues here. What is nice is this is something that I noticed in Football Manager, where you've got the speed of your simulation. And this will show you how fast it will be to run. The more teams you add, obviously, the slower it will be. Now, what is kind of not good to see is that I added one more on, and the game damn near shit itself. Look, speed of simulation's gone from literally 4.5 stars to 0 after just adding a few. And as you can see, there are a great many sort of teams to go through from here. So it would be nice if maybe it was a bit more optimized for, more teams to be played with. Obviously, these are your default ones that you can't not use. And even then, on 4.5 stars, the loading time when creating the league is quite long. And then if you skip more than, say, 3 days in the actual game, the loading for that is quite long as well. So that is something worth bearing in mind. A little bit of optimization there wouldn't be a bad thing. Let's jump into the actual game and I will show you what it's all about. This is your main screen. It will always start you on your messages. What is nice is if you select the tutorial option, each time you click on a screen that you've not been on before, it will come up with a quick description of what that screen is for and how it works. It's not too intrusive, but it's nice that it's there, and you can opt to have it switched off as well. As you can see, I have decided to coach Leicester, and we've had a few things happen already. We've played our first game. This is the calendar here. What would be nice is if it would allow you to go back and see matches that you've had, maybe with like a win ratio, etc. on the calendar as well. But what you can do is you can skip forward and you can see all of the games that are coming up. and what's happening with each of those. You've then got your plays. This is where you will essentially work out who's going to sub, who's going to play where. There is an assistant coach who will literally help you do everything if you have, like myself, no idea about basketball. I don't think I've played proper basketball since school, and even then I didn't play much. So having that assistant coach there to allow you to do that is really, really nice. You can be as involved or as hands-off with this game as you like. You can simulate or watch the playthrough as you go. You got your tracking list. Again, the info that comes up to show you what the list is. You got your players, your tactics. It's very, very in-depth. Like, again, this is a vast improvement from last year's game. It seems like they've added quite a few things that have made quality of life and playing the game actually a lot more fun and a lot more informative, and leaves you not so bewildered about what's going on. You've got your schedule here as well. So if you don't want to look at your calendar in the top right, you can just come to schedule and it will show you all of the matches you've got coming up. Your rankings, your finances. Now, finances are a little bit iffy. For some reason, I am minus 102,000 and I don't quite know why. Because according to this, my budget is 950 grand. After wages have been paid out for the first month, I've got 858 grand left. My current budget is sat at 862 grand. My payroll is 389 grand for the year, but that still leaves me with minus 102, which means I can't actually do anything. I tried recruiting a scout so I could go and get some new players, and I couldn't afford it. Literally nothing, which is a bit odd. I'm sure if I was to go through everything and have a look, I could probably get away with that and turn it into a plus, but for the purposes of not really having enough time, and this is a first impressions video, I've kind of left it. Your objectives. Now this is really nice. I like the fact that it gives you a approval rating for both the fans and the directors, and your objectives down here, any extra that you take on, etc. Your facilities, again, I like this quite a lot. It shows you what's there. You can add some more stands if you've got the money to do so, and you can adjust the prices of your entertainment and refreshments and stuff. Have an announcer, have a mascot, or have some cheerleaders if you so desire as well. Staffing, same issue as the trying to find players, in that you just can't afford anybody, so you literally get an assistant coach and a physical trainer. That's your lot. Scouting, I can't do any because I don't have a scout and I can't afford one. And then your recruitment, again, not got any because I can't afford to pay anybody. World options here, you've got your free agents, prospects, and search. And again, not really a lot I can do, even though they're free agents, unless I can find somebody who wants to play for me for free. Not a lot I can do. Each of them have got their own avatars, and I'm assuming that with a mod you could probably get a real picture sort of mod to go down there. And that's literally the game. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fast forward through to match day, and then what I'll do is I will switch back with the wonderful air of YouTube editing magic, and you will see the game from the gameplay menu. And just like that, as if nothing had ever happened, we're at next game day. So again, this will show you all of your messages that you've got. This gives you your recap and shows you who won, who lost, and then you hit your next game. Again, the loading times, if you're only doing 1 day to 1 day, are not too bad. It's if you try and group days together that the loading times can take a little bit of time. It gives you the option to simulate the entire thing, or you can play. We're going to play it because I want to show you what the graphics and everything of the gameplay in inverted quotes actually looks like. So you get preparations, the assistant coach, I like this. you've got somebody that is with their national team, so you're down a person, you hit the assistant coach and he literally does it all for you. Or you can go through here and change these options to what you think is best if you know what you're doing, or if you want to try and learn. Then you continue, takes you through to your statistics, and it will show you, the best and worst players and how you're doing. Then your latest games, it will show you whether you won, lost, these people that were playing, their win and lose rates. And then your presentation shows you the people that you've got going on, and then start game. And this is this is it. I don't know what this weird animation is that they've got going on, where if you stood up, they're all doing it. It's a bit weird. The actual character models are not fantastic, and you can't zoom in or zoom out. You've got your options up here, so you can take a timeout when you're playing. You can click on this one and look at the tactics and change it on the fly. You've got your defensive tactics here as well. Again, you can change it all on the fly. You've got your individual instructions that you can hit and tell people to do. And then I'm assuming, we come off that one, your statistics. So this one is weird. This one's a hover, not a click. I don't quite know why they've chosen for that one, but there you are. So it's a hover on your statistics to see what's happening. You have your action by action, comments, evaluation, score. You've got all these different options here. You've got your settings. So you can see, again, highlight the player with the ball, which you're going to see in a minute. The effects on the ball, return to main menu and exit the game. You have your camera, which you can change. So if you don't like the 3D model, if you don't like this model, you can change it. And honestly, 2D horizontal or 2D vertical, this one's good because you can see how busy you're doing. Obviously, the more people you've got in the stands, the more money you're going to make. The different stands. So they've got a decent amount of camera angle to choose from. But again, you're probably just going to want either the 2D vertical or the 2D horizontal, to be honest. Just because the 3D models in this are not fantastic. Your sounds, so you can turn sounds up or down. Not that there really are any sounds in the game anyway. And then here, so you've got it paused. You can choose for speeds. You can choose the simulation by action. You can simulate the entire quarter. You can simulate the entire game. For the purposes of showing you just how terrible the highlight is, we're actually going to go back to TV, and then we're going to switch it on to by 4 speed, and you can see it automatically plays, and you can keep an eye out. It would be nice if the highlight wasn't so god awful. Just literally the person's name being above the ball, I feel would be better. The bar just takes up the entire animation and doesn't look amazing. But there you go. That is the game. That is Pro Basketball Manager 2022. In my opinion, a vast improvement from Pro Basketball Manager 2021. Don't forget to leave a comment in those comments down below, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.